Let's see here. Okay. I'm not sure how to exactly know for sure that it's recording. I think it is. We will hope. So everybody, this is Meghann Clements, who has over 6,000 people in her organization. She started out just like us. Hey, Mackie, that's too loud, honey. You have to go upstairs and play. Shh, sorry. So she started out just like us with a $99 kit or $49 kit. And she was able to grow and grow and grow and is quite the leader with Scentsy. So I'm super honored to have her here with us. And yeah, Meghann said she would talk about recruiting, which is something that we can all, I got to take care of my son really quick. Mackie, we'll play in there with the door closed or upstairs. You have to choose one. Sorry.
That's okay. That's why we work from home.
Yes. Go, Mac. All right. So yes, and then I will unmute everybody after Meghann's spoken, and we can ask her any questions that we might have. So yeah, Meghann, take it away. What should we know?
Okay. I have my notes here to make sure that I don't miss any of my my main points. I think a lot of people, I get a lot of consultants on my team that are asking, they always or often like to ask, well, how do I recruit? How do I get more recruits? It's just like a how, you know, tell me steps, tell me techniques, tell me tricks. How do I get new teammates? Before I ever give like the how-tos, what I always want to focus on is the mindset behind recruiting. And that's, I think, for the how-tos to be successful, we have to have the appropriate mindset to do so. And mindset can mean a couple things. There's a couple kind of key mindsets that I like to think of around recruiting that I know that I've used in my own business, and then I teach my team because I know it works. But there's a few key mindsets that you want to have in place when you're looking to grow your team. And looking to grow your team isn't like on Saturday I'm looking to grow my team, or once a month I'm going to go out and look to sponsor someone. Like, it needs to be a mindset that's like kind of swirling in your mind and existing with you in your life, carried on with you day by day as you are a Scentsy consultant and growing to be a Scentsy leader. A mindset isn't just something that you grab once in a while and put it on the shelf. Like, it is part of you as a Scentsy consultant. So the first mindset that I think is everything was actually taught to me by another superstar director. You'll probably recognize her name, Jacqueline Boy, on the first incentive trip in Hawaii in 2010. That was my first incentive trip, and I was a superstar consultant. And I'd been with the company probably like 8 or 9 months. And that was the first trip that we had ever earned. It was the first trip that had been offered since he opened in Canada. But I met Jacqueline at the pool by the resort that we were staying at in Hawaii, and just kind of listened to her story. And she was a nurse, and her husband's a nurse, and just really regular people. And she was telling me she had like over 1,000 in her downline at the time. And I was just like, what? That's crazy. How did you do that? And she's like, honestly, it was my belief that the business was a blessing and not a burden. And she said, I truly have to think of how the business has blessed me, how it has impacted me, what it has given me positively in my life. And I use that mindset to approach and share it with others. And when I do it that way, I don't feel like I'm pestering or bugging them or burdening them. And I think a lot of consultants, we often hold back in our recruiting because we don't want to be like that bugging person, right? We don't want to be the pest. We make all these assumptions and judgments that we know what's best for people when we haven't even said a thing. Like, we have this whole story and dialogue in our head that, oh, she's got tons of kids, she doesn't have time for this, or her husband has a great job, they don't need extra money, or she's got tons of friends, she doesn't need like, we decide for people without giving them the chance to decide for themselves. And a little sidetrack on that, my cousin signed up to sell Scentsy, and I didn't know. And so I ended up signing up under just like a random lady who's like a distant, like a third cousin of my husband, like no one close. But my actual cousin was my first cousin. I've lived with her. I have like more of like almost a sister relationship with her, and I was younger. And I said to her, I said, Lindsay, why didn't you tell me you did Scentsy? I would have signed up under you. I just picked this random girl because I didn't know how else to get the kit. And oh, sorry, that's my dog. Okay, you're annoying. Sorry, we're just gonna ignore him. And I was like, why didn't you tell me? And she's like, because I didn't think you'd be interested. Ryan's a lawyer. Like, I didn't think you would be interested in all. I'm like, oh, and now I know that she's quite sad that she didn't ask me, because she would have had our business as part of her downline, and probably could have really blessed their lives as well. And so that's just, don't ever be that one that assumes for other people. That's our job, is to present the opportunity, let them make the decision. But when we make all these assumptions for people, we could be dead wrong half the time. You don't know that the lady that looks too busy and has all the friends, you don't know that she's actually not craving some professional growth. You don't know, just because she looks like she has all this and that going on, she might be desperately lonely in her family, or have stuff going on where she just needs a community of love and support. Like, we don't know what's going on for people. So it's just really, it's not our business to assume for other people what will work for them. We just have to offer it. So that's one of the mindsets, that if you go out there thinking, oh, I might be bugging her or pestering her, you're going to come off all awkward and weird and shy and stuff, and not present it the right way, because you don't feel confident, and you're not really sharing how it's blessed you. You're just kind of dancing around this topic of, I hope you want to do my business, and oh, it's okay if you don't, but here's information, but it's okay. No pressure. I hate it when people say no pressure. It makes me crazy. So that's the first thing, is if you can wrap your head around and be like, no, you know what? Scentsy has blessed me for this, and this reasons, and I want to give that opportunity to others, and make it about giving them the opportunity that you feel super blessed and fortunate by. That will come off, and you will feel more confident, because you don't feel like you're just doing a pitch on people. You feel like you're actually sharing. So that's the number one thing, is I call that the from burdening to blessing mindset, is that you just have to figure out how to see how it's blessed you, and then share that with others. If you haven't kind of moved that into your soul yet, it will be very hard and awkward to recruit people. It just will, because people will ask, well, why do you love it? What has it done for you? And if you aren't ready to just be like, this is me and this is why, then it will come across harder. The other thing about that, around this topic too, is a lot of consultants I hear will say stuff like, oh, I don't really feel confident in recruiting, or because I don't really have a story yet, or I haven't gone on all these great trips, and I don't have these big paychecks, and I don't have this or that. Like, they have this kind of story or idea in their head that they wouldn't be a good team leader because they don't have all these Scentsy accolades and stuff. But here's the thing, you guys, is that everybody joins for a different reason. And so your reason for joining, whatever it was, your very personal, authentic reason for doing this business, may be exactly what connects with someone else. And that person may not connect with someone with a big fancy trip or a big title with Scentsy. Guess what? Most customers don't even care that you're a superstar director or a star consultant or a lead consultant. Customers don't care about the titles the way we as consultants, they just don't care. But your exact reason for joining, it could be just as simple as, you know what? I needed a break from my kids. I needed a little motivation. I needed to feel that I was contributing and adding values outside of my home as well. It was a self-esteem boost for me. Any of those really personal, kind of simple, but very authentic things could be exactly what the next person needs. And so a lot of consultants will hold back in their sponsoring and recruiting because they feel like they won't be a leader, or they don't have a lot to offer, or they don't have experience with this or that. But that's not what everybody wants to hear. In fact, a lot of people don't. They look at that as intimidating. They don't want to see the girl driving up in the fancy car. They want to see the person that they can really relate to and connect with. So sponsoring is for everybody at any point of your business. And as long as you're willing to authentically share why you joined and are more open with it, I believe that will get you more success as well. Okay, here's the other. So I'm just dancing around. I have these thoughts whirling and I'm trying to get them all out. Home parties. You guys, I am preaching like crazy to my team right now to get off flipping Facebook and get back into the home party scene. And I'm not blaming, I'm just telling you, this is what I'm telling to consultants at large. Facebook is not where it's at for authentic growth and connection with people. It may be easy, and yes, you might be able to grab orders, and you might have a rockin' VIP customer page where they're willing to reorder. But for making new connections, new relationships, deepening relationships, you have to be experiencing the products with people face to face. That's the number one. When I look back at my business, my number one recruiting strategy and strength was my recruiting out of my home parties. When you go to a home party, you need to go with what I call, here's another mind frame, is called an attitude of expectation. You can't roll up to a home party frazzled, having stuff falling out of your rolling suitcase, having packed 20 minutes before, scrambling around the house, making sure your kids are fed, tucking your shirt in as you run up to the host's house. Like, you have to have this attitude of expectation about your party, but what comes with that attitude of expectation is you have to be prepared. So I like to leave basically a party bag packed all the time. I like to have everything ready to go. So I am not doing that 11th hour scramble out the door, because when I'm doing that scramble out the door, and I've done that lots too, my brain isn't ready for the party the same way. I don't have my attitude of expectation on. And what I mean by saying attitude of expectation is I get my attitude built up in my head as I'm thinking about the party, as I'm thinking about the host, as I'm driving to the party, I'm listening to like pumped up music. I am getting ready. I am expecting from this party, number one, to find a recruit. The products are going to sell. You just got to pop it in. That's a given. You're going to sell products if you get people in the house. But people come to parties. They expect to hear about businesses. Don't think you're going to bug them if you talk about your business at a party. They will think it's probably really weird and odd if they come all the way to a party and you don't breathe a word about the business you're doing. So you go there expecting to talk about your business. You go there expecting to find a recruit. When you go there basically like, no, I'm going to get a recruit. So now the fun part is to figure out, is it going to be the host? Is it going to be one of the customers? Is it going to be the host and a customer or two? Like, you go there expecting it, being like, no, this is how I grow my business. This is how I get my team. I'm going to find one. So you go there, you work with the hostess, and this ties all into, you can go back to hostess coaching. You make sure your hostess is motivated about the party. You know what she wants, because if you know what she wants, she's going to have worked harder to get people there to make it a more successful party. So it actually, this attitude of expectation ties back into your hostesses, how you work with your host. And so getting her ready, getting her motivated, having people there, getting them prepared, is all part of it. You walk in there and you're like, hi, I'm so-and-so. You're friendly. You ask everybody their name. You want to make it look like you're one of the customers. I always have a goal when I'm at my home parties. I don't want to look like I'm the consultant sitting back at the table. Here, come see me when you're ready to order. You want to be on the floor. You want to be smelling stuff with them. You want to be asking them about themselves. You want to be like the investigator of the party. I kind of think of it like when I go to my home parties, I am in investigator mode. I'm listening really hard. I'm listening for conversations about people that talk about, oh, I'm kind of bored at home. My last kid just went away to college. I have some free time. Or, oh, my kids, I'm so tired of kids in diapers. I need to get out. I need girls' nights. You got to listen for key things like that at parties, because those people are giving you lines and giving you information that you can then jump in and be like, hey, Scentsy's a paid girls' night out. If you're, you can be authentic and figure out how to offer the business opportunity individually to people, not only just in like a presentation style. Although a presentation style is key at your party too. Always do, when you're talking, if you don't let people start smelling stuff until you first of all get to talk about your business, talk a teeny bit about the products, and then talk about hosting. So number one, if you're going to take 10 minutes of people's time at a home party, I would take 5 to 7 of it talking about your business. Let them get to know you, have them ask questions, maybe play a fun game about the business. Giving them, there's all kinds of fun, kind of cute games you can play to talk about the business during the presentation. Don't even barely waste any time on the catalog when you do your presentation, because that information can all come out during the party. And that's how the product information is how you stay engaged and interacting with your customers during the party. Do not stand in front of the people and be like, this is this, that is that. On page 43, you have this. On page 65, you have this. They can see all that in the catalog, and you have 2 hours to work on that with them. You want to capitalize the 10 minutes before they want to start smelling their samples to talk about your business, and then hosting. Your host should always be your golden recruit. you always want to think of your host as they're halfway to consultant already, right? They have done the effort. They've got people there. They obviously love the product enough. So you always want to offer the business to your hostess first. When you do the party closing with them, like when you're doing okay, your party's sitting at this and this and this, always let them know, okay, and if you're a consultant, you'd be making this amount of commission on it. So figure out the commission that you would make on every party and sit with them right there. Matter of fact, this is what I'm going to take home today. This is what you would take home today if you were a consultant. And then if you would like to become a consultant, I'm willing to offer you this party. They call that party flipping. Where this can basically turn into your launch party. So you offer them, before you close it, you let them know that you're willing to give them that party. Tell them that you've already got a great little customer base here with all your people. They're going to need to reorder soon. So don't ever close a party with at least offering it to them. A lot of people and consultants will be like, oh, but I lost the sales on that. If I give away that party, guess what, guys? Like Mary Christensen used to say all the time, they say that parties are income for tomorrow and sales are income for today, parties are income for tomorrow, and recruiting is income for forever. So that is a short term. If you lost $95 of commission on that order once, guess what? If she becomes a consultant and she starts putting in orders every month, you're going to recoup that pretty quick and then some. So don't ever let the short term sale detract you from giving them or flipping your host to the party. Join packages at parties. Don't leave a party without a couple packages of join packages being given away. So join packages are, what I do, super simple. I'm not crafty and cute. I honestly just use plain white manila envelopes from like Staples or Walmart, anything. Catalog, brochure, join brochure, your own story. Make sure your people are sharing your story. A lot of people have typed out cute stories. Some people, if they're not so crafty, you can even print off your story off your PWS. But your own story needs to be in there. A business card, maybe a sample or a car freshener. Have those there. In my presentation, I always say, I've got three business opportunity packages. If you know anybody, and this is something that I like to always say, is if you know anybody that may be interested, because guess what? They're always going to think about themselves first, and then they'll start thinking about others. So if you know anyone that would be interested, please come see me. I can't leave this party tonight if I haven't given all these away. So the host is going to be stuck with me all night long if I don't give these 3 packages away. I do stuff like that because that's my sense of humor. I work my own kind of humor and personality into those kind of conversations that maybe seem, might be the harder, a little bit more awkward moments where you're like, someone take my package, please. I make it silly and I'd be like, I'm stuck here all night long, guys. Can't go anywhere. I need 3 of you to take these. So, but you got to get rid of these, opportunity packages. And then what you have to do after that, and don't you dare ever let these leave your hands without doing this, you've got to get your phone and I use the notebook app on my phone, and I call it my recruiting hit list. Every single person that I've talked to about the business opportunity, even like breathed the business opportunity, maybe had a feeling about them, like mentioned, they even acted like they listened harder about something, they all go on my phone and I call it my hit list. And I will type like, Jennifer so-and-so at Sally Ann's party on December 20th talked about the business opportunity. She's a board mom. Like I'll give myself little cues about them. Or if anybody takes a join package at all, they all go on my phone because now they've taken, a couple dollars of my product out the door. I'm not just going to send that out willy-nilly. I'm going to find out what they think of it. So name, information, tell them if they take a join package at the party, I'm going to follow up with you in 4 or 5 days and see what you think of the information. So then it's not that awkward surprise. Hey, remember me from the party? What did you think? Because you've already told them that you're going to call them. So put them in if you ever give out join information at all, they all have to be tracked. That has to go on your hit list. Because without follow-up, there is nothing. The fortunes in the follow-up, we hear that all the time through everything we do. So keep a running hit list. And then I don't even, I have people, if I go back on my hit list, it's a little bit embarrassing because I have people on there from honestly 3-4 years ago. I refuse to take anybody off. And I'm like, yeah, they're probably dead leads, but I just, out of ethics, I won't delete my hit list. And so I will send people sometimes like 3 years later, I'll just be like, hey, you're not going to remember this, but you may not remember this, but we chatted about Scentsy so long ago. And I know this is totally out there. Like, I will just kind of call it what it is. But are you still interested? Do you want to know more? We've had so much new products since we talked last. Like, it actually gives you that chance to go back to some of those way old contacts that way if you keep track of them. And then people on your hit list, you have to follow up with them. I call them my hit list is like my watering list. Like, you have to water those hits, but you can't drown them. So there's like that dance where it's like a flower, a plant. You want to feed it and nurture it, but you can't smother it and drown it. So that your working hit list now becomes like your nurturing, watering list, basically, where you touch base with them. You let them know about the enhanced starter kits, any kind of promotions that come out. But you also get to know them as people too. Don't just bombard them with, oh, it's, now it's February. Oh, here's our enhanced kit. March, April, May, June, July, August, September, July goes by. Hello, August comes. Hi, it's now August. Here's our promotion kit. Boom, 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 boom. Hi, it's next February. Here's our promotion kit. And not once having asked them, how are you doing? Commenting on their Facebook page of their cute kid. You want to always be building at the same time genuine, real relationships with people, so they don't be like, oh, here comes that Scentsy consultant. Bang on, 6 months later, here she's asking me to join again. She doesn't care about me anytime in between February and August. So you don't want to be that consultant. So you always want to be at the same time of people that are on your potential opportunity hit list, whatever you call it. You want to be building real relationships with them too. So then when it's time for them to join, they feel like they're ready to, and they've got a new friend out of it. It's not just like the stalker Scentsy lady that didn't leave her alone, because that never starts off on a great relationship. So take care of nurture your hit list, pay attention to it, date it, make sure you date your hit list. I know hit list is a terrible name, but it's the best one that I like it. I've always called it that, but keep it as a working document somewhere that you can read it often. Check it out every week at least. Just be like, where am I at with each of these people that I've put on this list? Okay, what else was I gonna say? Lifestyle design, guys, and recruiting. This is huge. People join you. They don't just join a business. And so when you are posting on Facebook and you are, especially on social media, that's how people see how we are these days. You want to show them, not just spam them with, it's 10% off, it's bring back my bars. You want to show them how Scentsy has improved your lifestyle. So you want to show them why you're happier. You want to show them pictures of you doing fun things with girls or women. You want to show them, if Scentsy is sending you a reward in the mail, that it makes you feel so awesome to be recognized at home. You want to show give them more of a complete picture of we're not just pushing products down people. We are recognizing, we're empowering, we're supporting. And if you're on a trip, dang it, you better be posting a lot about your trip, because people can't even imagine going on a free trip. A lot of people think that's crazy. So trips are huge recruiting tools. But you definitely want to show lifestyle design. You don't want to just show the products. In fact, you want to show probably less of the products and more of the lifestyle design, because you can become that annoying consultant or person that you start getting blocked or spam, or they just think you're the spammer. So I've recently just started my own VIP customer page, and I am totally guilty. I post a ton about Scentsy all the time on my personal page. I'm too lazy to run a business page, but I just realized, nope, enough is enough. I'm doing my own VIP customer group now. And so my personal Facebook is going to be, when it's Scentsy, it's going to be more lifestyle design stuff, friendships, relationship part of it, going on trips, but it's not going to have just running, bring back my bar and 10% off spam every day. I'm done with that, because I know that's not what people want to see. They want to see more of a lifestyle design anyways. So I've moved that to my VIP page. It's going really, really well already. So I'm just kicking myself for not doing this sooner, but that's another topic. Let's see what else. I think that's I feel like I just completely on you guys. Dump so much on you. Kate, do you want them to ask me questions about recruiting, or is there any specific area that you want me to expand on? Can't hear you. Can't hear you.
Okay. Can you hear me now? All right. Yeah, I just think your business is fascinating and so inspiring. I love what you said about just really showing that lifestyle of freedom and friendship and fun, the flexibility. It's excellent. Oh, there's still a couple people who are muted, sorry. Anyways, and I know that your husband worked really closely with you in your business as well, right? That's just really fascinating to me, and the way you guys did that together. I'm trying to think of some different roadblocks that I've heard from my own team about recruiting. How do you feel about the word saturated? Like, well, there's already too many consultants around here.
Yeah. Yeah, you hear that all the time. I live in a place where when Scentsy opened in Canada, Alberta, where I live, is the first kind of province that Scentsy came hard at. So we started basically Scentsy in Canada, like our area, and then it kind of just grew across the country. So people think, I hear that a lot because we're in like the Idaho of Canada for Scentsy.
Okay.
Here's the thing, you guys. What I think is mind blowing is just because the number of consultants, it seems like in a town, is not reflective of the actual organic work that's going out in your town. So many consultants are signed up, but they aren't marketing actively. They're grabbing just orders from their mom and their next door neighbor and buying their own stuff. So just the number of consultants that you think exists in your community is far less than, I mean, it may be there in numbers, what you think is a big number, but the actual efforts going out in the town or the community are not, they don't collaborate. And actually that is why, if you remember, some of you may remember that Scentsy used to announce or like put in the newsletter how many consultants were in every state or province around the Scentsy like global community. They won't do it anymore because they said that is a misleading number, because consultants were seeing that and going, oh my gosh, there's like 12,000 consultants in Texas, or how, like I'm just giving a random, that's too many. Well, I don't even have an opportunity here because there's already too many consultants. So I'm not even going to try now. So they were having these stories because these numbers were existing in their heads, but they weren't really indicative of what what actual Scentsy efforts were actually going out there into the world, into their communities. So they've stopped doing that. So that's what it honestly, to me, that's an excuse and a crutch for not having to work as hard. Everybody knows different people. That's the other thing, is that everyone is connected to different circles. And here's the beauty, guys. We aren't limited by geographics. We can sell in Canada, US, Mexico. Like, we actually have a huge ability to sell. We just have to figure out how to get out of our little bubbles of communities. And now and that is where the internet is really good these days. And so you have to get creative about how you get out of your communities. And the best, easiest way is the old fashioned way of asking people for referrals, asking people for their relationships. Better than spamming buy and sell pages down in Mexico or some random community. Ask people if they have friends in Mexico. If there's an area that's under loved by Scentsy, ask people if they know people in that specific area. Because if you have a real relationship and a friendship with people and they trust you and like you and they respect you, what you do, there's no reason why they wouldn't want to put you in contact with someone else. So you have to be, basically, if you can be a really good friend to a whole bunch of people, you're going to have a business that will grow, because your friends will refer you to their friends. But you have to have earned that respect first too. So that's what the other thing I always say is, like, it is not brain science here. This is old school network marketing rules. You are needing to, we call it your friends, the people you know are the gatekeepers to their people. So you have to get those gatekeepers to open their gates. And that is all going to become done by how they feel and trust you. So if you're like that consultant out on Facebook that is whining about UPS and dropping swears and has this negative aura, they're not maybe going to be referring you. But if you're positive and happy and, just kind and comment on people's pictures and say, your kids are so cute. And they are cute, like being genuine, obviously, but just being a positive, supportive person in the social media world, I actually find goes a long way too, because people really will whether we like it or not, social media is here to stay. And people are going to gauge and draw assumptions and judgments on how you present. So that is another barrier, I would say, is to get out, use the Scentsy world that they've given us. They let us recruit in all the countries and get creative and start asking people who they know, where they are, and where they are.
Very good.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, can you tell us about a time where you did maybe one certain thing? And I mean, you talked about kind of behaviors that we should do consistently, but did you ever have a month where you just dug in and you're like, okay, I'm really going to grow this month. I really want this to be a big one. I'm going to set my goal up here, and like what you did and what you changed, and maybe like just some simple steps that you did to really have a big month.
Yeah. So I had I had a couple crazy months, like back in 2010 and 11, when I had been just a brand new superstar director. First of all, I had a friend, Carla Hunter. She's another superstar director in Canada. She's been my best friend in Scentsy since we started in 2009. She's not in my upline. So she and I have had a crazy healthy competition our entire Scentsy career. So having an accountability buddy really helps. So I find is for my personality. So having that is key. But one month, basically, her and I just decided we were going to recruit insane amounts of numbers. And so I think I had my goal, I wanted 20 recruits one month. And so I became obsessed, and I had I think it was either 20. I think I had started with 20, but I had sticky notes, 20. I want 20 recruits all over my wall, by my computer. Every time I'd get a recruit, I'd slash it off and be 19 recruits, 18. And I had this visual countdown in front of my face all day long. It's all I thought about it. I was just messaging, calling, I had this absolute goal to smash that month. I think I ended up getting 18 recruits. That was my top month. But I was living and breathing it. I was that crazy person, that lady that literally was just on a mission, and I was on the phone, and I was Facebooking, and I was telling everybody, and I was hitting up every customer, every host, sending out mass emails, I was emailing everybody. I was just using basically all the avenues I could, but I had to keep my goal in front of my face 24/7. It was all I could focus on. So that's visual reminders everywhere. And having someone that was in kind of competition with me helped a lot too, because I was like, what's your number at? What's yours? We were, Carla and I were back and forth with each other. So having someone to motivate you positively and kind of push you for my personality, that really helped. But I don't know what my kids ate for a whole month, because I think I was obsessed for a month straight, pretty much. I think they ate because they're still alive, so that's good. But yeah, that's having, just basically taking the, I would like to get a few recruits mentality to no, I'm going to do this, but having it in this part of your brain where you see it, instead of just back here where, oh yeah, I'll think about that. So that's, I would say, is something I did, was just become a crazy lady for a month.
That's awesome. Do you guys have any questions? Any questions?
Yeah, I do. If you why they cannot join or why they wouldn't fit it, how do you respond to that?
Sorry, say that again.
When people give excuses of why they cannot join or why they wouldn't be good at it, or they just don't have any friends or any of that, how do you respond to that?
I think, well, I don't have a blanket answer, because it depends on obviously the relationship you have and each person, how the conversation went. But the friends line, I hear that a lot of I don't really know anybody, stuff like that. I'm like, you know what, honestly, this is the way you can get to know more. No, this is actually a way you can get to know more people, especially if you're willing to go out and do little markets, or go to the community fairs, or start going to lots of communities have networking groups where small business owners can go out for dinner, one night a month. This now actually allows you to say, hey, I represent Scentsy Fragrance. I'm a new consultant in town. You get to now interact kind of on a business professional level. So you're putting yourself in new social circles. So when I hear people say that, that's usually what else I will flip it and be like, you know what, this is an awesome way to get to know new people. You'll get to know, and not just customers, but you'll get some more friends. You'll meet Scentsy teammates that become friends. So it's not just about customers. If that person's saying I'm lonely and I don't really know anyone, well, guess what? You just joined a family, so you're not going to be lonely much more. So I like for that reason, I will just flip it around for that. But yeah.
And a lot of people will watch what I'm doing with Scentsy, and they'll say, they'll take my style and my personality and they'll say, well, I could never be that outgoing, or I'm too shy, or I'm not, I don't know as many people. It's kind of like you. And I'm like, oh, I love telling people about my work.
There's Emily's mom.
Oh, yep. There's Emily's mom. There's Heidi Bolt. He sees you. She says, hi, Mackie. That when I went to director boot camp, I thought I was going to be meeting people just like me, with my personality, my same strengths and weaknesses, but it was the opposite. I met people of all different types of personalities, all different types of strengths and weaknesses, from all different walks of life, every age. This is a job that can fit anybody's style and anybody's personality. And that's the beauty of it, is that it meets you where you're at. Yep. And can pull you up to, it's great. I just love that I can be me and run with it. And then at the same time, it challenges me and helps me grow. So if anybody thinks that they're not cut out for it, this job can fit anybody. It's really, really beautiful.
Absolutely. Yep. That's the whole, I think that's why Heidi and Orville were inspired to put authenticity as part of the value, because they wanted it to be it works best when you're authentically working your business, when you're not trying to be that other leader or that other consultant and trying to copy what they're doing and trying to present the way they present and try to dress like them. People can see through that. People want to see you authentically doing your business, not how someone else does theirs.
Yeah. Very good. Does anybody else have?
Yep, I have a question.
Sure.
Meghann, when do you present, like at a home party, about the opportunity? Like the beginning, middle, end? I think sometimes I hold back on presenting it just because I want like that party to be really good. And so if there's someone that's interested, like if I was interested at a party, like I would not order as much because I would be wanting to have my own later. So when, like throughout the party, when is a good time to kind of bring it out, or do you do it kind of like throughout the whole thing?
Well, before I let anybody touch the samples, because I find once they start touching the samples, it's really hard to rein them back in. So you basically have like 10 minutes max. After 10 minutes, if you're talking more than 10 minutes, then they're starting chatting with each other. They're distracted, like you've lost them. So I use that 10 minutes basically to introduce myself and to talk about the business. That's my main goal. And I do it more in like, hi, this is who I am. It's more of an introductory, like if we're going to be hanging out all night, I'm going to tell you who I am and why I'm doing this business. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about my business. And then we're going to talk about the products in the party. But so I do it. I like do my, my main part, right at the beginning. And then I am listening and I'm reading kind of cues and watching customers while I talk. And I am watching how they react to me, questions they ask me. And then throughout the party, because I'm going in there with this my attitude of expectation hat on. So I need to figure that out pretty quick. So strategically, I want that information to come out pretty quick so I can get a gauge for people and where their interest is. So then I know who to like maybe go sit next to and ask them if they've smelled this smell before, and then ask them more about this or that. Like I am really there as an investigator. So I do it at the beginning. So then that way I can pull it out again throughout the party.
Cool. Awesome.
Because you always have those few people that have to leave 20 minutes after, right? Like that. I can only be here for 10 minutes. I got to go pick up my kids from soccer practice. So they're in and out. They're, they're grabbing 3 smells. So I want them to hear my most important part of my presentation before they zoom out in 20 minutes.
Yeah. Awesome. Very good. I want you guys to know too, Meghann, was it 2013 that you were the Shining Star Award winner?
Yeah.
2013. I'm going to look it up on YouTube and see if it's there. Hopefully I can find it. But she's just such an inspiring leader in our company. Somebody I admire so much, so down to earth, so friendly. I sure appreciate it. You have all of the values that Scentsy promotes. You have them all. And that's obviously why you've been so successful in your business. So I just,
Thank you.
well, I really appreciate the time spent with my crew and me. And yeah, Meghann is also a earner for Africa, one of the top 100. So even though she's, you know, she's done this for so long and she has such a, she's still like really working and really growing, and it's very inspiring. What is your main source of, before we go, what is your main source of PRV? Do you do a lot of home parties still? Do you have a lot of repeat customers that just put in reorders?
Yeah, so home parties are my strength because I'm just not organized enough to do it, to do the big massive trade shows or markets or fairs. I just don't enjoy I don't enjoy that part of the business as much. So home parties have had to be my strength because that's just what I'm a friend person. I love more friends, and I find I get more friends at home parties than any other way. So I'm a connector, and that's been for me. So home parties are huge for me, especially in the holiday season. My home parties were insane between September and December of this year, especially. So I would say home parties. And then also I do have a really big customer base of repeat orders on people that order online that have ordered from me for years. I take very good care of my online shoppers because I know that they can shop anywhere online super quick. So I'm very generous with my thank you cards and little things I send to my online orders. And I find that helps a lot because I turn a lot of those online relationships into more, you know, my goal is to get my online order people on Facebook with me as soon as possible. So I would say a combination of home parties. Where I live locally in my town, I have a really good just local customer base here. And then, then taking care of my online people is what I would say probably is my strength.
Awesome. That's fantastic. Last call for any questions before we go about our days. Anybody? Well, thank you again, Meghann. You got to act fast, guys. Anybody? Well, thanks again, Meghann. We sure appreciate your time, and I'll get this up on YouTube. And
you are so welcome.
Yeah, thank you again. And
okay.
Thanks everybody for showing up.
Okay, see ya. Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.